Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting of Tuesday, September 27th to order. If the clerk can call the roll.
Supervisor Kelly is attending virtually. Everyone else is here in the chambers.
Thank you. As it is customary, we have an opening prayer by one of the supervisors, and tonight it's Vice Chairman Meyer.
All right, thank you, Chairman. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening asking for your guidance and wisdom as we continue to work together for our residents of Racine County. Help us approach each discussion with humility, open hearts, and a clear mind. We thank you for the opportunity to work together and trust that you will lead us to the ideas that bring good to others and honor your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 4 is public comments. So Supervisor Hopkins. Supervisor, there's a sheet on the ledge of the podium there. If you could bring that up to me. Good. Thank you. So tonight we have Carrie Madrigal. She's going to talk about the Medal of Honor presentation this Thursday. You give your name and address.
Sure.
Supervisor, Vice Chairman Meyer will be timing you. You got 3 minutes, and he'll give you countdown from 15 seconds. Thank you.
Sounds good. It's Carrie Madrigal, 19012 58th Road, Union Grove, Wisconsin. I just wanted to touch base. I left one of the flyers for this Thursday's presentation at Union Grove High School. Salvador Ginta is being brought to speak for free. He is a U.S. Army veteran who received a Medal of Honor, the highest award that can be given in the military. I'm part of the Go Frank Go Foundation. If anyone here knew Frank Lamping, he was a huge Packer fan. You would love him, Don. But he impacted a lot of us in the greater Union Grove area. He went to high school with my mom, and he passed away a few years ago. He was a very strong believer in community, very willing to give his time back to kids in the community, and just was an all-around great guy. So the foundation is made up of people who knew him, people that are related to him, and every year we raise money to bring a speaker to come for free to speak to all the feeder schools that go into Union Grove High School from 5th to 8th grade. And then another presentation is done in the afternoon for the high schoolers. And then there's a free event at night. The Kenosha Pipe and Drums are coming. The Union Grove High School Choir will be there. It starts out with John Mercure. John Mercure is the MC. And the owner of the Bunker, who is also a 2 or 3 time Bronze Star recipient, will be speaking. We also have retired Lieutenant Brian Murphy. He was from Oak Creek Police Department. He was the first person at the Sikh Temple shooting. He was shot 15 times and survived. He will be interviewed. And finally, we have Sal Ginta, who will be speaking, and it's going to be extremely moving and just a phenomenal night. So I wanted to invite all of you, at least let you know that this is going on in the community. Feel free to share it. If you go to Go Frank Go on Facebook, feel free to share it. It's all out there. The only thing I will caution you is the high school is under construction. So if you're able to carpool, that would probably be great, because parking might be the hardest thing that we deal with that night. So less than 3 minutes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you. Can't do that during visitors' comments. Item number, any other visitors? Let me comment. Item number 5, reading of the minutes of the previous meeting, which is automatically waived unless requested by a majority of the members present. Seeing none. Item number 6, resolutions and ordinances referred to the committees.
Ordinance number 2025-72 by individual supervisors amending the Racine County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Article 2, Division 3, Meetings, Section 2-89, recording, streaming, and retention of county board and committee meetings, and Sections 2-90 through 2-100 are reserved. This was referred to the Executive Committee.
Introduction, item number 7, introduction of resolutions and ordinance for first reading and referral.
Resolution number 2025-80 by Finance and Human Resources Committee establishing parameters for the sale of not to exceed $23 million in general obligation promissory notes, Series 2026A.
Communications and claims, item number 8.
Number 1, resolution to support Wisconsin establishing a membership with the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center, MS-ISAC, to cover the cost of membership for all state, local, tribal, and territorial organization from Barron County. And number 2, resolution urging legislative action to address county funding challenges under Wisconsin's tax levy freeze from Crawford County.
Items number 1 and 2 are referred to the Finance and Human Resources Committee.
Items 3 is a claim. Items number 4 and 5 are foreclosure of mortgage, and items number 6 through 28 are notifications from the United States Bankruptcy Court.
So items number 3 through 28 are referred to Finance and Human Resources Committee and Corporation Council.
Any requests? Supervisor Wishaw?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Copies of numbers 1, 2, and 3, please.
Supervisor Miller?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 3.
Supervisor Hoffman?
1, 2, and 3, please.
Supervisor Coleman?
Chairman, 3.
Supervisor Trotter?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Numbers 2 and 3.
Number 3, please.
Vice Chairman, number 3. Myself, number 3, and Supervisor McReynolds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Copies of 1, 2, and 3.
Supervisor Rossi.
Thank you, Chair. 2 and 3.
Any further requests? Seeing none, we'll move forward. Item number 9, communications from the county executive.
Report number 2025-51 by County Executive making appointments to the Local Emergency Planning Committee was referred to the Government Services Committee.
Supervisor Caprellian?
Thank you. The Government Services Committee has yet to meet, and instead of delaying this any further, I would ask that Government Services take this up this evening.
Okay,
Can I
go ahead.
All right, very good. What we have before us is 2 appointments to the Local Emergency Planning Committee. And these appointments are to fill 2 vacant positions. And one is Miss Elizabeth Adams, who has served as a Racine County Deputy Emergency Management Director since June 2nd of this year. And the second one is Sean Douglas. And Mr. Douglas currently serves as a maintenance manager for Saputo Cheese USA in Franksville. And both of these terms would end December 31st, 2029. I would ask Government Services to make a motion.
Motion. I second.
Okay, motioned and seconded. All in favor on Government Services?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Okay, thank you. And so for this evening, I ask the county board to also approve. So I make a motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion made and second to approve the appointments to the Emergency Planning Committee. Any further questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried.
Next, we have report number 2025-55 by County Executive making an appointment to the Veterans Service Commission. This was referred to the Health and Human Development Committee.
Supervisor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee did not review this yet, but in order to expedite it, I would like to do the same as Government Services and ask the Health and Human Development Committee to make a recommendation. This is an appointment to the Veteran Service Commission. The citizen is Leonard Hansen of Mount Pleasant, and I will read the county executive's description. Mr. Hansen is a lifelong Racine County resident with a strong record of service, hard work, and community involvement. He proudly served in the United States Marine Corps from 1969 to 1970 as an automobile mechanic, earning the National Defense Service Medal and receiving an honorable discharge in recognition of his dedication, discipline, and reliability. Following his military service, Mr. Hansen built a long and respected career in the concrete trades, working from 1971 until his retirement in 2011. Since retiring, he has remained active in the community, including serving as a board member and volunteering with the Racine County Rifle Club. His firsthand experience as a veteran, along with his dedication to service and family, make him a strong and thoughtful candidate to serve on this commission. I ask that you confirm this appointment. I would ask the committee their direction.
I so move.
All right, we have a motion from Supervisor Coleman and a second from Supervisor Shakur. Any discussion? All in favor on the committee?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that is approved, and I would now ask the county board to confirm this appointment.
So we have a
Second.
motion and a second. Are there any further comments? Voice majority vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Report number 2025-57 by County Executive making an appointment to the Prairie Lakes Library System Board of Trustees.
Vice Chairman Meyer, we took that up tonight.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your executive committee took this up, report number 2025-57, and unanimously approved the confirmation. So at this point, I would like to move it forward to the county board for confirmation for Danielle Larson, who resides at 3200 South Honey Lake Road in Burlington, Wisconsin.
Is there a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 10, standing committee reports containing recommendations on items referred.
There are no items.
Item number 11, second reading of resolutions and ordinances.
Under our majority vote group, we have resolution number 2025-73 by Public Works, Parks and Facilities Committee authorizing acquisition of right-of-way for a highway improvement project on County Trunk Highway C in the village of Mount Pleasant. Ordinance number 2025-74 by Finance and Human Resources Committee amending the Racine County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Article 3, Division 4, Settlement of Workers' Compensation Claims. Resolution number 2025-78 by Public Works, Parks and Facilities Committee authorizing application and acceptance of outdoor recreation trail aids, county snowmobile trail aids funding through the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources in the amount of $49,311 and transfer of funds within the Parks 2026 budget. And resolution number 2025-79 by Public Works, Parks and Facilities Committee in support of the Racine County Trail Crossings Planning Project.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Supervisor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to ask at this time for separate consideration of 2025-78 and a roll call vote. And at the appropriate time, the county clerk will explain why I'm doing that.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Hopkins, 2025-73.
So this in regards to an acquisition of land, County Trunk C, high over by Ascension Hospital. This parcel of land is small parcel of land just to acquire small parcel of land to the side of the right of way for a stoplight. and the purpose is for maintenance, access and maintenance by the county. And it was unanimously approved by the Public Works Committee. So I would like to
Okay.
make a motion.
We, point of, we've got, we've got that motion already, yep.
Okay.
So, are there any questions on the acquisition of land at Highway C? I see we've got Public Works here. Is there anything you guys want to chime in on? If Director Bean.
Yes, this is just a land acquisition along the Highway C corridor. It's actually only a piece of the Highway C corridor by the hospital right there. We realized when we were doing survey that one of our signals was actually on private property, and the signal's already there. So the Ascension basically said that they'd sell us that piece of property for $1, and that way we own the land that our signal's on is what this is for.
Okay.
So.
Any questions? Supervisor Trottier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Addressing Resolution 2025-74. This pertains to workman comp claims giving authority to Corp Counsel to settle in accordance with Admin Code and DWD 80.03 in the amount of up to $20,000 without FHR or county board approval. Settlement claims between $20,000 and $100,000 require FHR approval, but not county board approval. And settlements of claims over $100,000 require county board approval. This was brought forward, maybe within the last 6-8 weeks, and a minor incorporated in here is the minor adjustment. I have John Circuitec here to explain specifically why this was changed. John?
Good evening, board members. This was I think a cleanup, maybe more than anything, that was presented to finance. What workers' comp is under chapter 102. So for those of you who might want to have good reading tonight, that's about 50 some pages in the statute books. That also is covered in the administrative code in DWD chapter 80 and 81. Again, another 50 some pages if you want to read that. But in essence, what the workers' comp, generally creates is kind of two sets of categories. And those would be either disputed claims or conceded claims. So what the ordinance had been in place without the addition that Chairman Trottier noted in 80.03 being added is that we had always interpreted that settlement of claims to be those cases where you had a disputed claim, not a conceded claim. And the difference between those is that obviously in a disputed claim, there's some disagreement as to the injury, the causation, and the extent of it. Whereas in a conceded claim, there is no such dispute as to the injury, the extent of that injury and the causation. So what we've done with respect to the current ordinance is added that language to clarify that the settlement range that Chairman Trottier noted for up to 20,000 for corporation counsel, the 100,000 for finance, and then the over 100 having to come before the board, is to just clarify that it will only be for those disputed claims. So with respect to a conceded claim where we agree that the injury occurred and the causation and that we're responsible, those payments will be made without having to go before the board and would not be covered under that ordinance. What we did add though as well is in 2-204, the voluntary lump sum payment, which again, I think the concern was that we wanted to clarify that for even now a conceded claim, if a lump sum payment was going to be made of $20,000 or more, that then those would be covered by this addition in the ordinance, that the human resources director would then provide that by way of a just report to the committee that a voluntary lump sum payment of over $20,000 had been made. So that was the clarification that was made in the ordinance. Again, I think kind of clarifying what we had always done previously, that only this would generally cover contested claims, those that would require DWD's formal approval on a compromise agreement. That's what this was for. But I think by adding the language in DWD 80.03, it's clear now that this only covers those claims that are in dispute or needing that compromise. Other than, as I know, 2-204, which adds now this report that would have to come to the FHR committee when we are having a conceded claim of a over $20,000 lump sum payment being made. In conversation with, I think, our outside counsel who does a lot of our workers' comp and dealing with our third-party administrator who deals with them, there will be very few of those reports, I think, coming. It's very unusual for us to be making a conceded $20,000 payment in a lump sum. So that's the explanation for those changes.
Any Supervisor Kolb?
And you're talking the $20,000, is that included, is that medical and like, say, you know, they mess up their hand and they lose 5% of their hand use? Is, which is the 20,000 like covering the loss of the hand use, or is that the medical and
It would cover
combination?
the entire claim. So if it's a disputed claim, then if it's under $20,000, our office, which is what was in the current ordinance, would have authority to settle those, but it would include the medical payments, any, as you note, permanent, partial disability, permanent total disability. So those payments would be included in that 20,000, 100,000 elements that are in the ordinance.
Any further questions? Okay, we'll move on. Supervisor Hopkins, 2025-79.
This is in regards to acceptance of outdoor recreation trail aid, in which snowmobilers pay fees that goes to the state, and then that an amount of $45,311 is paid to the state, and then that money then comes.
I think we're working on 2025-79. That's the Racine County Trail Crossing Planning Project.
Oh, okay. My bad.
All right, that's okay. Supervisor Miller asked for a separate consideration on 2020.
All right, so this is in regards to a grant application that's looking at the planning phase of looking at the safety of the trails. This grant application amount of 65,000, 45,000 would come from the state, and 13,000 would come from the county. It was approved by the committee. Again, this is for a grant application for the planning phase of look at the safety of trails.
Okay. Any questions, comments on the grant from the for the Racine County Trail Crossing Plan? All right, so this is a roll call, or this is a voice vote on Resolution 2025-73, Ordinance 2025-74, and Resolution 2025-79. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. So Clerk Christensen, 2025-78.
While preparing the draft minutes earlier today, we discovered that the document for Resolution 2025-78 needed a correction, including that this should have been a two-thirds vote by the board because there's a transfer of funds, which is why we've requested the separate consideration and then the proper action by the board. We've also updated the document and it is circulating for signatures so that we have a clean copy with that corrected language on it. But that's the reason for the separate consideration in the two-thirds.
Okay, Supervisor Hopkins, tell us about the snowmobile grant.
As I was, again, this is an amount of 49,311 is funds collected collected from snowmobilers that goes to the state. And then those funds come back to the county. And then again, it goes back towards the snowmobilers, and it's all in regards to the trail maintenance and upkeep.
Yes. We actually did have some snowmobile time earlier this season. So this is a 2/3, or this is a separate consideration. It's a 2/3 majority vote. So we all have to need to check in. Supervisor Trotter. All right.
Supervisor Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
I did. I'll do it again.
I'll voted and motion carries unanimously. Next, we have the 2/3 category, where we have resolution number 2025-75 by Finance and Human Resources Committee authorizing a 3-year agreement from 2026 to 2028 with Honeywell Building Solutions for service and maintenance of building door access control system at Jonathan Delagrave Youth Development and Care Center for a total of $82,572.78. Resolution number 2025-76 by Finance and Human Resources Committee authorizing a 5-year agreement from 2026 to 2030 with Spectrum for internet services at the Rochester Highway Department shop location for a total of $11,400. And resolution number 2025-77 by Finance and Human Resources Committee authorizing a memorandum of understanding with the town of Norway for use of 2 empty bays at the Wind Lake Fire Station number 2 with share of 2/3 of the utility costs from February 1st, 2026 through January 1st, 2027, and use of sufficient funds within the capital 2026 budget.
Mr. Chairman. Second.
Vice Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to ask separate consideration for resolution 2025-77, please.
Yes. Supervisor Trotter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution 2025-75. This addresses a 3-year contract of $82,576.78 at $27,524.26 yearly for building door access control system installed at the Jonathan Delagrave Youth Development and Care Center with Honeywell, a longtime service provider. This yearly amount will become effective May 2, 2026 and continue to May 1 of 2029. This amount is included in the 2026 annual budget. I have Jarman here if we have any additional questions in regard to adding this security system to the Jonathan Delagrave Youth Development and Care Center.
Supervisor Wish.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize, it was not at this finance committee meeting, so I apologize for the question, but this system wasn't part of the original contract with the building of the center.
Good evening, Jarman Shuda, Facilities Management. Yes, the system is currently installed and has been as part of the initial construction. What's before the county board tonight is a 3-year maintenance agreement for service and maintenance of that system for 3 years.
So there was no warranty on the system when you put it?
There is, and that runs out May 2nd of 2026, and this commences when that expires.
So we had a 1-year warranty?
Correct.
Hindsight, I guess. Thank you.
Supervisor Horth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Supervisor Trotter, thank you for confirming that it was put in this year's budget. I do have one question regarding that. Was it put in this year's budget at 27,500, or was it put in for the prorated amount starting in May for the rest of the year?
I do not have a specific answer to that question. I will get it for you.
Just
Mr. Chairman.
curious, because again, that could be something down the road that might be beneficial and
Sure.
additional funds we may need. So thank you.
Supervisor Miller?
There is a line item on the fiscal note. It's for $40,000, so it's under the budgeted amount.
So the budget was put in the number was put in at 40,000. So, okay, so then that becomes a positive. Keep that in mind as we go forward.
Any further questions? Supervisor Colton?
Is Honeywell up to date on all the other maintenance of all the other buildings on the locks? Because I thought there were some problems with this building for a while that we were waiting on them for quite a bit, if I'm not mistaken.
There is still some work to be done on some of the locks in this building, yes. We talked with one of the representatives from Honeywell the other day, and he did give us a date to be completed, like hopefully by mid-February.
So it'll be done for sure before this gets enacted.
Yes.
Any further questions? Okay, Supervisor Trotter, why don't we take 2025-70? Oh, Supervisor Rossi.
Thank you, Chairman. One question I have on this is on the price schedule of the actual contract, which isn't included in our packet. You'd have to go to the FHR packet to see this one. But the language reads, customer agrees that the annual price will be escalated by an amount determined by Honeywell in its sole discretion as of the anniversary of the effective date. Such escalation amount will be provided by written notice to the customer prior to the anniversary of the effective dates. What this means to me, maybe I've got this misunderstood, is that after we sign this, they have the right to renegotiate pricing at they use the language sole discretion. So is there any guide or guardrails for something like this?
I think that was brought up at the FHR committee, and I believe that was the same question that Supervisor Caprillion had. And Corp Counsel had addressed that the interpretation is that it would be $27,524.26 locked in for the 3-year period. And then the modification could possibly escalate after that on the 4th year. So the option would be either, if the board wanted a longer contract, that would be an option, but there's no assurance once this 3-year contract would expire.
I must have missed that during the FHR meeting, but I am looking at it now and I just look at it as the anniversary of the effective date. I mean, that's a year after the effective date. So that to me reads as an escalator in addition to what these are. And I usually do see language like that in these contracts, but it's usually not so open-ended. All right, well, that's it. Thank you.
I just know I'd like to, on page 2 of 11, and I don't know if you still have the information packet from the FHR committee, but down at the bottom, it says price. It says, if there is some ambiguity, I'm just trying to clear this up for you. It says the price of this service contract is $27,524.26 per annum, with an escalation applied for the following years where applicable. And the full price breakdown can be found in the detailed agreement found after this summary. And I just think, once again, that the interpretation of that has always been that there wouldn't be an escalation, because then if you go to page 5, it says year 1, then it spells out the specific dates, May 2nd, 26 to May 1 of 27, annual price 27/5/24/26. And it goes down. So I think that would be illegal if they tried to escalate that during this 3-year window.
Go ahead, Supervisor Rossi.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll be brief. I read this the other way, and I'll break it down as best I can. Customer agrees that the annual price, so the established price, will be escalated by an amount determined by Honeywell in its sole discretion as of the anniversary of the effective date. Effective date is five, and they put right at the end of that paragraph, the contract effective date is 5/2/2026. So the anniversary of the effective date would be then 5/2/2027. So that's pretty clear that they would be able to escalate from what the defined contract value is in the following year. Not the anniversary of the contract, it's an anniversary.
Well, I can tell you, I don't think the county's intentions would be, we wouldn't pay a 1 cent more than the $27,524.26 that seems to be stipulated for 3 years.
So the question is then what is our out? I guess I should have looked a little bit more.
Our office always has these contracts reviewed by corp counsel before they get brought this far. I don't know that's way beyond my scope of what the out would be.
I can only weigh in, I mean, I have not looked at the contract. I can only indicate in talking to Michael, who's reviewed this, that my understanding is that it is a 3-year contract, so that escalator does not come into effect up to until year 4. So again, I don't have the contract in front of me. I can't speak to it. I haven't reviewed it, but my understanding is that this was addressed at the FHR committee when it was first brought before the committee. And I believe that was his rendition of that contract, that the term was for a 3-year contract, that the escalator could only come into effect in year 4. And then we would be able to negotiate whether or not we want to continue.
Understood. I just disagree with this one, and that's fine.
Sure.
But do you feel that there's an out then, should they escalate in year 2?
Correct. I mean, at least that's my understanding, and just talking to Michael without having reviewed the contract, that was his review, that the contract was for a 3-year term, so that escalator where it says they could change it at their discretion would not occur until year 4. And we're not under obligation to continue for a year 4 or any year thereafter.
Thank you, Chairman.
Any further questions on the Honeywell contract? Supervisor Pritzker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's related to Supervisor Rossi's question. What would Honeywell expect to do if in the resolution we're considering tonight, it states on page 2, lines 22 through 28, multiple times the annual rate of $27,524.26 for the years 26, 27, and 29, and specifically states that there's a 0% increase year to year. Would they expect us then to go back and pass a new resolution to change this? I mean,
Well,
seems like
according to Corp Counsel here, the contract is for the $27,000 for 3 years. And according to, Director Jarman, that's what it is. And I wasn't at the finance committee meeting. If somebody from the finance committee meeting, can shed some light. I mean, Supervisor Caprellian, I believe you brought the question up. He had the same question with.
I had the same, excuse me, I had the same question. However, Corporation Counsel had just reconfirmed kind of, the bottom line of that's what's being discussed as the county's position. I had asked if it would behoove us to put in some different language, but I mean, Corporation Counsel just basically said that he was confident that we're not going to be stuck with them raising the cost, so.
yeah, thank you.
Supervisor Wish.
I find this a little problematic. I guess unfortunately I missed that meeting. But based on what I'm hearing, I can't agree to this unless it's in writing and saying they're not going to, they're going to honor one or the other. If it's not in writing and we're just assuming, or Corp Counsel thinks that we have a leg to stand on, I don't know if that's the case. I'd rather have it spelled out black and white that they can't make an increase in that 3-year period. The second thing is, I find it, again, problematic that we've got a brand new building And now we've got to invest another $82,572 for a building door access control system. Do they have Honeywell has all of our contracts for all of our buildings?
Yes, Honeywell does all of our buildings currently.
Then I think I would like to make certain that whatever we do with the new buildings, this is built into the contract. And we don't come back, and that building hasn't even been open for a year. And then having to invest another, whatever it is, because we were over budget on this facility to start with. So I guess that's my concern. Thank you.
Any further comments or questions? Who are you pointing at? Oh, Rossi, Supervisor Rossi, I was looking at.
I did want to speak to, thank you, Chairman. I wanted to speak to Supervisor Wish's concerns. This is, and again, I have experience in these items as a contractor. These types of things are typical. Usually you get 1 year where the building, all the services that are provided with the equipment are going to run. And then afterwards, you do have to you have to get into some type of service agreement like this, especially with the nature of the facility. I consider this business as usual. If I felt that this was an unnecessary cost, I'd be letting you know right now. But I do feel that it's a necessary situation, where we're gonna have to bring someone on board for these types of services. And I heard your comments are the same as you're having your sidebar, so I agree. I do feel comfortable with this though, in terms of my previous concern about if there is an escalator, you usually get notice of that. You see that with other types of, waste management services, things of that nature, where if they do escalate beyond the contract, you usually get like 30 days to get out. And I see language like that in there and later on. So should have spent maybe another 20 minutes on this and then talk to Supervisor Capellion a little bit more. Thank you.
Any further comments or questions? Supervisor Trotter, 2025-76.
This is a 5-year, 60-month agreement with Spectrum for internet services at the Rochester Highway Shop. The annual cost is $2,280 for a total of $11,400. What this is going to do, it's going to increase the bandwidth and improve support services and operational needs. This also is within the 2026 budget. And I believe our director, Raleigh Bame, is here if you have any additional questions.
Are there any questions on the internet service for the Rochester Public Works Department? Seeing none, this is a 2/3 majority vote. Both resolutions.
Supervisor Kelly, how do you vote?
Aye.
All have voted, motion carries.
Okay. So for the next session, since I'm the administrator of the town of Norway, I'm going to recuse myself for 2025-77. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Vice Chairman. You wanna go through
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So in regards to resolution 2025-77, Supervisor Trotter.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. This is a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, for 1 year, starting February 1 of 2026 and ending 1/31 of 27, to renew to renew 1 year between Racine and the town of Norway, Racine County that is, for the use of 2 empty bays within the Wind Lake Fire Station to repair law enforcement vehicles. The station is located at 5515 East Wind Lake Road. The cost for the use are to be taken out of the sheriff's capital budget Those costs involved 2/3 utility cost of gas, electric, and water to be paid again out of the capital improvements. There's also an estimate of $6,000 of electrical upgrades that will have to be done, that may have to be done, and paid for by the sheriff's capital budget. I have Carrie here, I think, is still here to answer any questions about this MOU at the 5515 East Wind Lake Road.
Questions or comments? Supervisor Horth.
Yes, I just had a quick question about the practicality of these numbers and going out of capital. This sounds purely like an operating expense, not a capital expense. Are we able to actually charge this against the capital account?
There's actually a line item in there for having to do with movement. We're all kind of getting scattered to other places. And so there's a line item in the whole $40 million project that is for this type of,
I guess this is more,
necessity.
this would be more of an accounting question anyway, as far as how this is appropriate, because I wouldn't want an audit to come back
sure.
and start to realize that we're putting operating expenses against a capital account and then have to reverse it later on, because that could be far more detrimental. So again, it's more of an accounting question, but when I heard that, I had to ask it. Thank you.
Supervisor Wish.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the notes or in the commentary, it stated that for repairing sheriff's vehicles at Wind Lake.
Correct.
So they have the appropriate equipment there.
Yes, we're moving all of our equipment there.
So that's not, you're not buying new equipment as part of the capital.
No.
Can I ask another question? Why was Wind Lake chosen to have repair done on sheriff's vehicles?
There was, there was just an opportunity because they don't use that fire station any longer. So it's mostly a vacant building. They have one fire truck parked in one of the bays. And if we would have gone other places, the only other option could have possibly been the West End Highway Department, but along with here at Ives Grove, everybody's kind of bulging at the seams, and Raleigh can probably speak better to that than me, but it just came up as a good fit, and it was already being underutilized, and we needed a place to go.
Who's doing the repair work?
The electric that's being, the upgrading, is that what you're talking about, the five?
No, who personally, I mean, who physically is gonna repair the vehicles at Wind Lake?
Our mechanics. It's just while we exit the patrol station, we have to be completely out of there so that they can start the new, all the steps in building the new patrol station.
So is the new patrol station gonna have the capacity to handle these two bays then also?
Oh, yeah, we do
So it's
now.
gonna get absorbed back in.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Supervisor Prisker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, thanks for the question, Supervisor Wish. I don't read that into the resolution as stated, but I think what I'm hearing from the conversation is that this is just a temporary move or temporary fix while the substation at Ives Groves is being renovated. So it's the same mechanics that are working on vehicles now, just been working on them then. That's why it's just 1 year and they have the space. Am I understanding that right?
Correct.
And it's capitalized because it's technically relocating where this work is done as part of a capital project to update that substation.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say whether the accounting is right or wrong, but that's the logic behind it.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? If not, it's a 2/3 majority vote. We'll grab our devices.
Supervisor Kelly, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, and motion carries. Actually, I don't think we need that anymore.
Thank you, Vice Chairman.
Chairman Kramer, welcome back.
Item number 12, reconsideration of resolutions and ordinances from previous meetings and or actions on vetoes.
We have no items.
Reconsideration of and or notice of intent to reconsider resolutions and ordinances.
We have no notice.
Item number 14, informational reports.
Report number 2025-58 by Finance and Human Resources Committee announcing donations made to Racine County between October 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2025. Report number 2025-59 by Finance and Human Resources Committee announcing grant applications applied for by Racine County between October 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2025. And report number 2025-60 by Finance and Human Resources Committee submitting the Racine County bi-monthly large capital projects report.
Item number 15, miscellaneous business announcements and oral reports. If you've got your laptops or your tablets tonight upstairs after the meeting, if it hasn't been gone to .gov, if you haven't done it before the meeting. Also, a reminder that the IT security training needs to be done by Saturday night at midnight. Any further questions or comments? Supervisor Caprellian.
Woohoo. All right, Government Services Committee. No, we have quite the February ahead of us. So open up your phones right now, put on your calendar. Not only do we have a meeting on the 5th, but we have meetings on the 18th and 19th. Those are our interviews. So we can be proud that we have 30 candidates that we will be interviewing for the next round of youth and governance. If you can't make the 18th or the 19th, you do have to let me know, because that would pretty much disqualify you from even doing the scoring, which, by the way, the interview score sheet is due by February 4th. So we have quite a bit we need to accomplish before February 5th's meeting. But get a hold of me if the 18th and 19th do not work. Again, it is in person and it'll be here at the up in the conference room or upstairs. So, all right, thank you.
Any further questions or comments or announcements? Supervisor Kolb.
They took off, but just a thank you to the highway department and the sheriff's department through these cold weather and extra long hours they've been putting in. I think they've been beat pretty hard lately. So hopefully we'll get some better weather and give them a break.
That would be nice. Any other? We are adjourned.